Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I bet you're asking a very important question, which was, what happened to the last live stream where I suddenly had to cut off? Well, I had spent 2.5 hours talking to you people, and then all of a sudden I started losing my voice, and I just couldn't go on. And yes, we had a lot more to cover, and we're going to cover that stuff tonight. The stuff we're going to cover tonight is going to be a lot easier than the last stuff we covered. You could tell with HTML 159 just how much we covered, okay? I put 52 illustrations there and put it up as a premiere, so you could tell that that was a big video. But anyway, the big thing is just one of the biggest questions you probably had was, why didn't I run this last night? Because I had the day off last night as well as today. Well, yesterday I was called back into work. Oh, I had to work a 4-hour shift. By the time I got home, I had everything all set up and everything. And there were some notes I needed to take, and I went ahead and took them. And now you know why I didn't just suddenly get on the air. But like I said, the videos that we're going to be talking about tonight are going to be a lot easier to record than the last set of videos. So here we go. I didn't tell anybody about this. This is one of those impromptu things. One of the things about my schedule is that it's bizarre. So there you go. I have been learning about this JavaScript object notation, otherwise known as JSON. I'll make a full presentation about that and then also just a future, so stay tuned for that. But there's two upcoming things I want to tell you guys. I will videotape the Labor Day Parade in a couple weeks. I will videotape the Mount Pulaski Fall Festival right after that. And then probably I'll run a live stream somewhere along that period of time. And then after that, there probably won't be a lot of live streams until well into the next year. So there will be some new videos, but bear with me. Okay? So since I know nobody's in here right now, and they probably won't be for a little while, we will be doing some music reviews, and I will finally finish the lessons on cursive tonight, and I will continue my lessons on the Koine Greek letters. I'm going to present you 4 more tonight. The next live stream will start with the Morse code, and eventually we'll go into shorthand and hopefully also into sign language. So there you go. All right. Let's begin, shall we? Oops. Okie dokie. Okay. I'm going to have to go in a slightly different direction. I do not trust this camera anymore. It has served me wonderfully for the last 15 years, but for some dumb reason, it's not wanting to work tonight. So we're going to switch to my other one. Yeah, I think this. Oh, I have a kitty. Her name is Bright Eyes. She's trapped in my room, and I'm going to get her out. Oh, yes, I hear you. Okay, let's get this out of the way. There you go. Bye-bye. See ya. There you go. Well, that took care of that, huh? All right. My cat must have snuck in here and didn't tell me, so there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this. Oh, boy. I can't believe I used this camera for 15 years and finally it's on its last legs. Who knew? But anyway. Oh, wow. The camera I'm using now is the one I normally use at the parades, but unfortunately the other one is not doing so hot, so I'm going to have to check it out and see what's going on. But, you know, that's life. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the topic of the Tahoma font. And specifically, we're going to be covering the history of the Tahoma font. But before I do that, okay, let's get into this. So who designed the Tahoma font? The answer can be found in the walls of the Microsoft corporate headquarters. In 1994, a British man by the name of Matthew Carter was working for the Microsoft Corporation. He was the son of a book designer. When he was a young adult, he planned to pursue a degree in the English language at Oxford University. But he was persuaded to delay his degree by 1 year. Mr. Carter's father helped Mr. Carter obtain an internship in the Netherlands at a type foundry. Now, if you don't know what a type foundry is, you can go look that up. Feel free to do so. There you go. Mr. Carter was trained in the art of designing letters of the English alphabet that would be later chiseled onto metal plates. These plates would be then used to print books and newspapers. Mr. Carter was trained in a typeface mold technique called the punch cutting by P.H. Radish. Okay, so this P.H. Radish trained Mr. Carter in punch cutting. Okay. Now, Mr. Carter is one of the last people that was trained in this typeface mold technique. Eventually, Mr. Carter returned to London and became a freelance typeface creator. In the 1960s, he created his own version of the Dante typeface. He even did freelance work for the Heathrow Airport in London. Eventually, he became a typographic advisor to a company called Crossfield Electronics. This company distributed Photon photo typesetting machines. During this period of time, he designed many typefaces. Eventually, he became an advisor to IBM. By 1981, he had created his own company, which he called, and this is what Mr. Carter called, Bitstream. Okay, he worked on several typefaces while he worked at his own company. But eventually, he decided to create yet another company called Carter and Cone. Okay, so Carter was one of the two people in this company, and Cone was the other one. Once this company was created, he began to work with Microsoft to develop the Tahoma font. The name Tahoma was derived from the name of a Native American tribe that at one time occupied the Pacific Northwest portion of the United States. The Tahoma font became the default font of most Microsoft products that were designed in the early 1990s. I'll say that again. The Tahoma font became the default font of most Microsoft products that were designed in the early 1990s. It was also a popular font for people designing web pages because it was very easy to read. And I welcome you to look this up for yourself, read the complete history on this thing. It's wonderful. Thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Let's make sure this, okay. Now on this next presentation, and I'm going to go ahead and check to see who has all written me. Nobody yet? Nobody's in? Good. Okay. I mean, there should be people here, but if they're not, I understand. Okay. Now, the next presentation, we are going to be using my dry erase board. And I'm going to be using it for several presentations. But the main reason is that I have to illustrate some stuff to you. Okay, here we go. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed. Oh boy, that did not go very well at all. Oh no. We okay. I'm sorry about the delay there. The problem was that my this is a newer camera. It's not new, but it's newer than the old one I had, and it has a few extra features that the other one did not have, and so I have to adjust to it. Okay. All righty. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to discuss the topic of hexadecimal. What is a hexadecimal? Well, I'm going to tell you about that in just a second, but first, all right, I guess the first thing we need to do is spell the word hexadecimal. There you go. There's the word hexadecimal. All right. This whole thing would be a mystery unless you knew the following information. The Greek prefix hexa means 6. That's this part right here. It means 6. Now, this hexa, or this prefix hex, is Greek. Okay, but here's the thing. This has a prefix, says deci on it, but it's also known as deca, which is 10 in Latin. Okay, so anytime you see deca or deci, you know that represents 10. I'll show you that right here. Okay, now these two words, which is a prefix, yet another prefix, and another root word, they've been joined together. So if these words are joined together, then that means that 6 plus 10 equals 16. Does that start to clarify everything for you? All right. Now, when was the last time you looked at a numeric keypad? Well, I just happen to have one right here on my scientific calculator. There's your numeric keypad. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There you go. The numbers 0 through 9 are the 10 part of the decimal. Okay? Because if you're counting in deca or deci, you're counting in groups of 10, which is represented by 0 through 9. Okay? Instead of counting like you count on your fingers, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. You would start with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your other hand would be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay? Now, what about the last part? Well, since we already know the 0 through 9 is most of this, we have to have a representation for the numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. We have to have representation for this, and we can't represent it with digits. So what did they do? Well, they came up with letters. A, B, C, D, E, and F. That kind of looks like, have you ever looked at musical notation where you have songs that are in the key of A, B, C, et cetera, et cetera? Kind of the same concept, but not really. I mean, you know, that's a good way to remember it, though. Okay. So anyway, many mathematical computer applications use hexadecimal, but our focus will be on the changing binary into hexadecimal. But before I cover that, I want to give you a brief history of hexadecimal. The history of the hexadecimal system is a little sketchy. The first major reference can be found in a book that was published just prior to the United States Civil War. What's the title of this book? Well, it's called Project of a New System of Arithmetic. And I provide you a web address down here in the description box below where you can click and you can see this book and read it for yourself. But this code wasn't widely used until the computer language known as the Formula Translator, which we now know today as the Fortran, okay? Because Fortran is actually an acronym based off the Formula Translator, okay? So you have Fortran, and it's an acronym for Formula Translator, okay? Now, there are different versions of Fortran, and the first time that the hexadecimal system was used was in Fortran 4, okay? Now, if you want to further research the history of the hexadecimal, feel free to do so because you might find it harder than you think to find the answer. All right, now, here's the key. Do you recall, and I'm going to cover this further in yet another video I'm going to do right after this one, which is going to be based off of something called Unicode. Do you guys recall in my video about the American Standard Code of Information Interchange, where I had that? Okay. And I said that that represented the capital letter A. Okay. Now, you say, okay, how does that binary number, which you know as a binary digit or well, in this case, it'd be a byte, which is 8. These are bits. This is a bit, this is a bit, this is a bit, so on and so forth. And this whole string of 8 bits is a byte. Remember all that? Okay. Now, I also taught you in the American Standard Code of Information Interchange that all of these are placed in columns. And I said that this is 1, this is 2, this is 4, this is 8, this is 16, 32, 64, and 128. Okay? So this is the 1 column, this is the 2, this is the 4, this is the 8, all the way up to 128. Okay? Now then, if there is a 1 bit in this column, you have a 1 right here. If there is a 1 bit in this column, you have a 64. Well, what's 64 plus 1? Well, that's 65. And the 65th character of the American Standard Code of Information Interchange, which is this one right here, happens to be the capital letter A. That's what it is. Here's the problem, though. We're going to be venturing out of something called the Unicode. All right. Now, so you have the 1 column, you have the 2 column, you have the 4 column, you have the 8 column. Now, these four binary digits here are these four right here. You're going to actually split this 8-bit thing here, this whole byte. You're going to split this whole byte in half. That's right. So you're going to have, and we're going to erase all this. So basically what you're going to have is this half of the byte is going to be down here, and this half of the byte will be in its own thing, okay? So what you have here is you have a 1-bit in the 4 column. And there, of course, there's no 1 bits in any of the other columns. So what you have is a 4. Now, what about this set of 4 here? Well, you have a 1 bit in the 1 column. So the 65th character in the American Standard Code of Information Interchange is also the 41st character in hexadecimal, which we're going to go into in my video about Unicode. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this again when I talk about that particular topic. So I want you to stay tuned because it's very important you understand this information. Because once you understand this, you can read Unicode. All right? So bear with me. I want you to stay tuned. I want you to watch the Unicode video right after you watch this one. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Oops. Nobody here. Okay, that's fine. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the topic of the Unicode Transformation Format 8. Now, there is a Uniform Transformation Format 16. There's also Unicode Transformation Format 32. And eventually, I'm sure they'll come up with a Unicode Transformation Format called UTF-64. Whenever that happens, fine, great. We're not going to focus on any of that right now. We're going to focus on the history of the Unicode Transformation Format. But before I do, okay, so what is the history of the Unicode? Let me say that again. What is the history of the Unicode Transformation Format? Well, that kind of depends on who you ask as to what answer you may receive. Well, in our case, we're going to ask a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ken Thompson. And I have a hyperlink down here in the description of this video so you can read what he had to say. I didn't physically talk to him, but you can read the article where somebody actually did, and he gave all the answers. All right. Now, let's briefly go through some of the things he actually did say. According to him, he was sitting at a New Jersey diner, okay? He had familiarized himself with something called the ISO 10646. What that is, I couldn't tell you. If you know, feel free to leave that information in the comment section of this video. All right? Apparently, this ISO 10646 contained a Unicode transformation format. Mr. Thompson was trying to utilize this UTF, which is the Unicode transformation format, to design something that would help a project known as Plan 9. If you have any information about that, feel free to leave that in the comment section of this video. Now, he tried to work on this Plan 9, but he didn't like the result of the work that he was producing. But before Mr. Thompson could ship his 16-bit computer character chart to IBM, because he had created a 16-bit computer character chart, he received a phone call from IBM. Mr. Thompson discussed the situation with IBM, and The IBM people told Mr. Thompson that if he could create a better system in a quick hurry, they would implement his new idea. So Mr. Thompson designed something called bit packing, and he printed his design on a restaurant placemat. Of all things, who would have known? Once Mr. Thompson ate his dinner, he returned to his computer lab and called IBM. Thankfully, he did not get a whole bunch of food on the placemat he was working on. He discussed his new UTF plan with IBM. Then he mailed his idea to IBM and started creating the new UTF code. Now, if you want further details about how Mr. Thompson created this code, there's a bunch of web articles on this, and I actually included a link to one of those right here in the description box of this video. So how does this code actually work? Well, in the video where I talked about hexadecimals, I once again reiterated how the American Standard Code of Information Interchange, how that actually worked. You remember I had those 8 bits which formed a byte, and each column had like 1, 2, 4, 8, etc., etc. Okay. Now, if you'll recall, I had 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. And this represented the capital letter A. You remember that? Okay. And I told you that there were columns. This was in one column. This was in another, so on and so forth, all the way straight down the line. And if you don't remember, go back to the hexadecimal video and it'll show you. Okay? Now then, what happens when you start turning this into hexadecimal? I covered some of this already in the hexadecimal video, but I'm going to cover it again. You literally split this in half. Split this in half. Okay? So now what you're going to have is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 1. Now, this is going to be divided into columns. And so is this. Just like that. Okay? Now, there are no values here, here, or here. The only thing that has a value is here. So we're going to put a 4 right there. There's a value here, but there's no values in any of the rest of these. So you're going to put a 1 right here. And so the Unicode character number 41 in hexadecimal is that capital letter A. So in the American Standard Code of Information Interchange, that character is 65. In Unicode, that character is hexadecimal 41. Now, why did they do that? Well, the reason why they did that is because if you have an older computer that only understands the American Standard Code of Information Interchange, which is called ASCII, okay, ASKII, or it's actually not ASK, it's ASCII, sorry. If you have that, you have a computer that can only read ASCII, then what's going to happen is it's going to read it as character 65. In a more modern computer, it read Unicode, and it would say, okay, this is Unicode hexadecimal 41. Okay. Now, what if you had the lowercase letter T? There is your byte, okay? Now, in binary, which would be the way you'd read it for the ASCII, okay? Remember the ASCII code? Okay, so what you'd have is there'd be nothing under the one digit, nothing under the 2. You'd have 4 here. You'd have 16, 32, and 64. Okay? I'll write that again because it's really So you'd have 4 here, 16 here, okay? And I'm sorry for the sloppiness. So you'd add 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 4. And what happens there? Well, 64 plus 32 is 96. Okay, so now you got 96 plus 16 plus 4. Well, now you got 112 plus 4, which equals 116. So character 116 in the ASCII code is the lowercase letter t. Is that going to be the same way in Unicode? Well, let's find out. Once again, we're going to split this in half. Okay? As I showed you previously, we have a 1, a 2, and a 4. Okay? Because there's nothing here under the 8. Okay? Now, you also have a 4 here. Okay? Well, what's 4 plus 2 plus 1? Well, that would be 7. So the hexadecimal number 74 represents the lowercase letter t. Well, that sounds pretty good, right? Well, the problem is, let's say you wanted to represent an alphabet other than English. Yeah, you got a problem. Okay? And I may have a problem. No, I don't. Yes, 16. Okay, I don't have a problem. Now, let's focus again. This time we're going to focus on the capital letter J. Okay, so we have our binary. Just like that. Now then, how do we represent the capital letter J in ASCII? Well, we have 2, 8, plus. So we have 64 plus 8 plus 2, which, of course, add that together would equal 74. You say, how in the heck do we get 74? Well, 64 plus 10 is 74. Was that the same way in hexadecimal? Of course not. The byte stays the same, but how it's represented is completely different. Again, we're going to split it in half. Well, we have a 2 here and an 8 here, and we have a 4 here. So 8 plus 2, of course, is going to be 10, and you have a 4. Well, we can't add these together. Oh, no. So what you're going to have is 4A. So the hexadecimal 4A represents the capital letter J. Okay. But what if you wanted to represent a character in an alternate alphabet, like the Spanish alphabet, the Latin alphabet, the Greek alphabet, say the Japanese alphabet? Okay. And of course, 8 bits is not going to be enough. Well, so what you do is you don't have just one bit. Well, you don't have just one byte representing the letter. You have 2. Okay. So this is your first bit, 11000010. And then the second bit is going to be 10 10 0010. Okay, so you have 2 bytes. This is 1 byte, this is the other one. Okay, so this will come to the computer first, this will come to the computer second. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to knock off 3 bits from the first byte. So now those 3 bits are gone. Then you're going to knock off 2 bits from the second byte. So these 5 bits are what's left from the first byte, and these 6 bits are what's left from the second byte. Now we're going to add a leading 0 to this, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay? So now we have so let me erase all this. Now, this is the combination of the bits that we still had from the first 2 bytes. Okay? We're going to split this up into sections of 4. 4 bits here, 4 bits here, 4 bits here. Okay. Now, we have a 2 here. We have a 2 here. We have an 8 here. And we have nothing here. Okay, so 8 plus 2 is 10, and this is 2. But we can't represent the 10 like this. So now we have to change that to an A. Now, what happens if you find Unicode A2? Okay, you find Unicode character to A2 in the 8-bit Unicode. What you're going to find is the cent sign. That's what you're going to find. Okay. If you want to do further research on this topic of Unicode, feel free to do so. But I will let you know one thing, okay? And this is the most important thing. What I'm going to let you know is that hexadecimal is not just used in Unicode. Oh, no. Do you remember a video I did a long time ago? Well, wasn't that long ago. It was called RGB. Red, green, and blue. All the colors from white to black to purple to whatever to orange, okay, they are represented with hexadecimal numbers. So if you're using JavaScript and you want to represent a particular color, you will look up its hexadecimal code and store that into your JavaScript. And you can use this UTF-8 to come up with your emojis and musical notes and characters from different alphabets from all over the world, etc., etc., etc. I bet you didn't know that. All right. I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will tell you more in a future presentation, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight we're going to continue our discussion on this book right here. It's called The Geometry. It's by Rene Descartes. But before I do, okay, we're going to start with the second proof of this. Okay. So what Rene Descartes was doing at this point was he was trying to show us how to find a square root of a number geometrically. Okay? I'm sure you can use your scientific calculator and find square roots algebraically. But how do you do it geometrically? Well, Rene Descartes did the following. And I'm going to back up just a little bit so you can see this whole thing. All right. Now, here's how this worked. We had a line. It's called GH. See how we have GH right there? I'll move this up just a little bit so you can see it. There's GH. Okay. And he said first thing he wanted you to do was to draw something called a unity. Now, he called it a unity. We're going to call it the number 1. Okay. So we're going to have like a 1-inch line right here from F to G. Okay. So we're going to draw that. But we had to bisect the line GH, and we did at K. Okay, so we drew this circle. Okay, and it really wasn't a circle. It was a. I'm sorry, this thing's super huge. We drew this arc right here, and if you remember in HTML 159, I taught you how to make these arcs in XML. Okay. So he drew this arc, and what he did was he said, I want you to draw a line from point G to point I. And if you draw that line between point G and I, what you can say is that the square root of the distance between G and H, whatever that distance is, well, the square root of that distance is GI. And that's what he proved. Okay. All right, and I made one slight mistake here. I want to make sure of this because I don't want to give you incorrect information. All right. Okay. All right. So we're not bisecting GH, we're bisecting FH. I should have read my notes a little bit better, but we're bisecting FH. Okay, so what we do is we put the point at K, which is the center of FH, not GH. Then we draw a curve, and then this. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. Here, I'm just going to redo this. That is terrible. That was awful. All right. Okay. All right. Well, we're just going to do the video all over again because that was terrible. Let's do this again. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my discussion of this book. It's called The Geometry, as by Rene Descartes. And tonight we're going to cover how to geometrically represent the square root of a number. Okay, you would probably do this algebraically with your little scientific calculator, but how do you do it geometrically? Okay. Well, let's go through this, shall we? We have a line, and I know how great big this thing here is. We have a line called GH, okay? And I have improperly represented this letter K, so hang in there, folks, okay? So, we have line GH, and what Rene Descartes said was he wants you to draw a line from point F to point G, which is called unity. Now, he called it unity. We're going to call it 1 inch, okay? Because everything that was unity was actually basically one of something. So we're going to say that's 1 inch. All right, so here's what he said. He said, first of all, he wanted you to bisect line FH at K. Now, if you were truly bisecting FH at K, K would be more like over here, closer to G. All right? So I kind of drew this a little wrong, but you get the picture here. If you were to draw this out the way you should be drawing this out, you'd be fine. Anyway, so we draw this arc from here to here. And if you'll remember, I just taught you in HTML lesson number 159 how to draw an arc using XML and JavaScript and SVG. Okay, so let's get going here. So we have bisected line BH at K, drawn this circle. Oh, it's not really a circle, it's an arc, okay? And then we drew a line from point G to point I. This line, this measurement of this line is the square root of GH. So if you knew the distance of GH and you wanted the square root of it, it's GI. And that's all he said. Okay. And that's the end of that particular video. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I would like for you to stay tuned. All right. Now we can go into some slightly simpler videos. Oh, we have David Berger, and he said, yo, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We got some more videos just for you. All right. Let's set this off to the side. And boy, this is terrible. I like making my whole presentation bigger. Let's do it this way. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to teach you a little bit about the Koine Greek letter iota. But before I do, okay. So, what is the Koine Greek letter iota? Well, this letter of the Koine Greek alphabet is famous for many reasons. It did spawn the creation of the English letters I and J. It is the smallest letter of the Koine Greek alphabet. So the meaning of the English word iota actually means small. This is the 9th letter of the Koine Greek alphabet, but it has a numerical value of 10. The English word jot is also derived from this Koine Greek letter. Didn't know that, huh? All right. In some programming languages, it's used to represent the math term integer. Okay? So if you want to represent integer in mathematics, you'd use the iota. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. That was stupid. All right. I should have just erased the letter and not erased the words Koine Greek. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to discuss the Koine Greek letter word kappa. But before I do, okay, this is the Koine Greek letter kappa. It is the 10th letter of the alphabet, and obviously it led to the creation of the English letter K. But it also has a mathematical curve named after it. But before I go on, I will tell you that if you go onto any college campus, you will definitely see this letter on college sweatshirts, t-shirts, you name it, you'll see it. Because a lot of the fraternity sorority thing is based on this letter. Yeah. Okay. Now, what else is significant about this letter? Well, the Einstein gravitational constant is denoted by the Koine Greek letter K. And I'm sure you can find a lot of other uses for the Koine Greek letter K. If you do, feel free to leave that information down here in the comment section of this video. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the topic of the Greek letter lambda. Okay? Here it is, the Greek letter lambda, right there for you. But before I do, okay. So, what's the big deal about the Koine Greek letter lambda? Well, like I said in the last video about the Koine Greek letter kappa, you will see a lot of this used on college t-shirts, sweatshirts, you name it, okay? Because a lot of fraternity / sorority bits, they use this letter a lot. So you'll see it. All right. Though the Koine Greek letter lambda is the 11th letter of the Greek alphabet, you rarely see it in mathematics. It did inspire the creation of the English letter L. But most people don't read a lot of calculus books. But if they decided to read statistics or computer programming, they would definitely notice this letter right here. In statistics, it's used to represent the likelihood ratio. In computer programming, there is something called the AWS lambda. It's a set of computer codes that are stored on a computer server that automatically process information when some computer event is triggered. If you want me to explain that particular topic in a future video, feel free to let me down here in the comments section below. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. We're still on the air. Let's continue on. Trying to draw this right. Okay. This is about the best I'm going to get it. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the Koine Greek letter mu. There's your Koine Greek letter mu. But before I cover this, okay. Alrighty. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see now. The Koine Greek letter mu is derived from the Egyptian hieroglyphic symbol for water. The lowercase letter mu, this is the lowercase version of it, is used to measure micro objects. So in mathematics, you will often see this symbol in equations that involve micro measurements. All right. I wish to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. I always forget this. Oh, come on. There we go. I don't like that at all. Give us a second here. No, I don't want that. Okay. Well, they really changed that, didn't they? Let me. There we go. That'll work. All right. Here we go. Oops. Hold on. One more second. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the cursive letter V. This is going to continue my video series on how to draw cursive letters. This time I'm going to focus on the V. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to go up like this. You're going to come down like this. You're going to go back up like this and draw this little line if you want to draw the capital letter. If you want to draw the lowercase, you go up like this, go down like this, up like this, and across like that. But we need words to draw. Well, we can fix that very easily. How about the word Velcro? Okay. So what you'd want to do is you want to go V-E-L-C-R-O. Just like that. Velcro. Okay. How about vehicle? V-E-H-I-C-L-N-E. There you go, vehicle. But what if you decided that you wanted to write the word vent? You want to use a capital letter V. So what you'd want to do is you want to go, oh, boy, that's terrible. Let's try that again. I moved. All right? So what you want to do is you want to go up like this, E-N-T. Just like that. All right? And that's it. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right. Oh, yes. Let's draw the W. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my series on how to write cursive with the cursive letter W. Okay. All righty. Now, how do you write this letter? Well, first of all, you got to curve up like this. Okay. You're going to curve up, go down here, up like this, curve down, up like this, draw this little line like that. On the lowercase, you're going to go up like this, down like this, down like this, and you're going to go across like that. Now, what if you wanted to write the word water? Okay, so let's use the capital letter W here. Okay. Water. Okay. But what else could we write? How about wilderness? Let's write that word. Wilderness. How about the word walk? There's how you write the word walk. All right. I wish to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will tell you more in a future presentation, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. I'm boy. Yeah. That's a terrible way to open a video. Let's see. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my video series on how to. Yeah, boy, that's terrible. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to show you how to write the letter X in cursive. Yeah, that's terrible too. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my video series on how to write in cursive. We'll show you how to write the cursive letter X. Okay. Now, the capital letter X, you're going to see that it's a curve up like this, down like this. You curve over like this. You draw this like this. Now, lowercase, you're going to go up, down, up. Okay, it's like a ocean wave. Okay, you're going to draw a line like this, and then you got your X. All right. So it was a little hard to find words that included the letter X. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to go like this. And there's your xylophone. I know this is a little messy, but you kind of get the idea here. How about the word Xerox? Let's show you that one. There's Xerox. Okay. How about the word existence? That's basically how you do that. All right. I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. I will tell you more in a future presentation, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my video series on how to write in cursive with the letter Y. How do you write this? Well, you're going to start with a curly up here. It's going to come down here this is almost like ocean waves. You have the wave up here, the low right here. You go back up, you come down here, and you're just going to make a little circle right here. All right. Same thing with this. Again, the ocean wave right here, curve down, make a little circle, and come up on the other side. Let's write some words, shall we? There's yellow. When you come down here, make that little circle. You take the line, you just go right here, L, L, O, and W. Okay, that's how you would do that. Now, what about other words? How about if the Y is at the end of the word instead of the beginning? Okay, let's do this. There's Barry. How about lonely? And there's lonely. It's a little hard to write when I have to hold the dry erase board up, so sometimes I look a little sloppy. But anyway, that's kind of the basic idea. You can actually see some of the movements I'm doing, and there you go. This is one of the things you're going to have to experiment with and work with and do. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right. Oh, boy, that's terrible. Let's try that again. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my video series. Actually, I'm going to conclude. Boy, that came out bad. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to conclude my video series on how to write in cursive with the final letter of the English alphabet known as Z. And there is the Z. It is one of the hardest letters to write. Actually, it is the hardest letter of the English alphabet to write in cursive, but it is rarely used. So there you go. Okay, especially the capital letter Z. You will hardly ever see the capital letter Z ever being used. Lowercase, you might see that a bit more often, but still. All right, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a curly Q right here. You're going to go up, down, go back up, down, make a curly Q here, and there you go. Same thing with the lowercase Z. You're going to go up, down, down like this, and come back up. You don't have to be perfect on this. You really don't. All right? Anybody tells you that, just, unless you're doing a massive calligraphy class, don't be that precise. Okay, so let's say you wanted to write 0. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to go like this, come down, up, down, curly Q, E-R-O. There you go. Capital letter Z and 0. Okay. Let's say we want to do zone. Well, let's do the lowercase. Oh, that's terrible. Let's write that again. Don't get too fast. If you're doing some sloppy work, that's fine. But if you have to do it for somebody else, don't get that fast. Okay? There's zone. How about zebra? Okay? So again, we're going to go up like this. A little sloppy, but you can see right there. Okay? And that's it. I want to thank you very much for watching all 26 videos in this series. And if you want to know what I'm going to be doing in future videos, well, right now I'm covering the Koine Greek letters, which I did a little bit better. And also, I'm going to start covering Morse code. Well, that'll be interesting. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this particular video response is going to go out to Diana Ross because she published a music video entitled Turn Up the Sunshine. I have watched the entire presentation, and I read through all the lyrics, and I have a few questions about the presentation and the lyrics, and I will ask you all of this in just a moment. But hang in there, folks. Alrighty. So, I only have a couple of things to say about the music video. The graphics are pretty, but I could easily generate those graphics in just a few days. So I can see that not much effort was placed in the graphics of this video. She probably did it with artificial intelligence. Who knows? But only she can answer that. But let's focus on the lyrics of the song, shall we? How do you turn up the sunshine? I'd like to know that. How can you make it further? And where are you going? And what would happen if you ever looked back? How would you keep track? How would you keep yourself from falling off the track? That's what I wanted to say. How would you keep yourself from falling off the track? And what is generating the light at the end of the tunnel? What are your fingers turning up? And what are you doing all around the world? What do you want us to think about? Why was it a long night? I've never seen the colors of the rainbow flash. And what are you wanting to change? I won't bother asking any more questions about the lyrics of this particular song. The few instruments that are playing in the background of this song are boring. They're flat out boring. And the lyrics of the song, for the most part, don't make much sense at all. This song sounds like it was invented by teenagers hanging out in a garage on a Saturday afternoon. I really don't have much choice on this one. I have to give the song a solid F. It just was poorly designed, poorly created. I wouldn't spend one dime getting this thing. But having said all that, I must first of all admit that Diana Ross herself is a good singer. She's been a good singer for many years. I'm just sorry this was not one of her better songs. But I had to review it the way I had to review it. All right. I want to thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. If you happen to be Diana Ross and you're watching this video right now, feel free to leave the answers to any and all my questions down here in the comment section below. And if you're not Diana Ross and you want to check out some of her other songs, which are much better than this one, feel free to go over to Diana Ross's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you'd like. And I do recommend that despite this song. And tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and boy, good evening. Boy, I did that terribly. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner. And this particular video response is going to go out to David Gates because he is the sole surviving member of the band known as Bread. And the reason for this video response is because I wanted to review his song called Guitar Man. Okay, boy, that just did not come out right at all. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted, the Speed Learner. And this particular video response is going to go out to David Gates because he is the sole surviving member of a band called Bread. Okay. And he uploaded a song and they had made a little substitute music video about it. It's called The Guitar Man. Okay. And I watched the whole music video and I actually watched, I've heard this song for so many years. And I had some questions about this song. But before I ask these questions, okay. So I wanted to say, first of all, that this song was published in the early 1970s, so there wasn't any particular music video produced for this thing, although they have made a music video since then, and it kind of reflects what the song is actually saying. But, so I'm not going to really review the music video. I'm just going to go ahead straight to the lyrics. All right, so let's ask a few questions about the lyrics. Why does the Guitar Man have to play his instrument so loud? What songs does this guitar man play that makes people love? And what songs does this guitar man play that makes people sad? How many miles did this guitar man travel? It's hard to pronounce the word guitar. All right? Especially the way he pronounced it. What radio stations play the songs that the guitar man composes? How does the guitar man find the songs that he eventually plays? Why would anyone want to take the place of the guitar man? How would you extract the meaning out of the guitar man's songs? Where do you find the words that you will use to become the next guitar man? Why do the lights begin to flicker? And what particular reason was there that caused the guitar man's voice to falter? So what will I say about this song? Oh, I'll say a lot of things. The electric and acoustic guitars in this song are blended very well together. Did you happen to notice the violin playing in the background? It's well blended with the guitars. I'm not sure if there was a synthesizer used in this song, but if there was, it was also very well blended. I also have to give credit to the drummer for keeping the beat of this song consistent. And I will say that this song evokes very sad emotions. I have no choice. This song deserves a solid A. All right. If you happen to be David Gates and you're watching this video right now, feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comment section below. And if you're not David Gates and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to David Gate and Bread's YouTube channel. Watch their videos, rate their videos, comment on their videos, subscribe to their channel if you like, and more importantly, tell them that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right. Good evening, everyone. This particular video response is going to go out to Cyndi Lauper, and that is because you uploaded a music video entitled Time After Time. I have watched the entire music video, and I've read through the lyrics of this song, and I've heard the song so many times, and I had some questions about both. So before I ask them, okay, let's start with the questions about the music video. First of all, what movie are you watching at the beginning of the video? Where did you get the ceramic dog? Why are you awake when your husband is asleep? And I would presume that would be a husband, not boyfriend, but who knows? I saw that you were working in a shop when he first met you. What were you selling in that shop? Why did you make such a radical change in your hairstyle without consulting him first? And more importantly, didn't he know you well enough to realize that you may change your hairstyle like that? I mean, why was he so surprised? I wouldn't have been. All right, and then you had this part of the music video where your mother faded out, okay? What happened to her? I saw that you were working on your homework when your mother hugged you. What were you studying at that time? Where is he taking you? And why didn't he go with you? All right, now let's focus on the lyrics. Why does the clock remind you of him? Why are you so confused? Why are you having flashbacks? Why do you think he pictures you? Why do you think he's calling to you when you left him? How long did it take for your picture to fade? What windows is he watching you through? So let's go through some positive things about this particular music video. The synthesizer is well blended with the electric guitar, and the lyrics are very decent. The music video is a typical breakup story and kind of sad. What's really sad is that Cyndi Lauper didn't get to do a lot of dancing in this music video because she is an incredible dancer. There's no question about that. And I have to admit that she is a good dancer, which I already said. Would I give the song an A? No. I won't go that far. But a solid B minus, you betcha. This is a very nice song. I would say it's one for better ones, to be honest with you. It really is. Okay. If you're Cyndi Lauper, and I know you're still around, and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Cyndi Lauper's. Well, no, hold on. If you are Cyndi Lauper and you are watching this right now, feel free to answer the questions that I have presented here in this music video in the comment section below. And if you're not Cyndi Lauper and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Cyndi Lauper's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this particular video response is going to go out to Kenny Loggins, and that's because he uploaded a song. They did have a music video, but most of that was a compilation of scenes that were shown in the movie Caddyshack, because this particular song comes from Caddyshack, okay? And the song's name is I'm All Right. And I have watched the music video, I have listened to the song many a time, and I've read through the lyrics, and I have some questions mainly about the lyrics of the song. But before I get into that, okay. Now, because the music video was based on clips from the movie Caddyshack, I will review the movie Caddyshack at some point in the future, but I'm just not going to get into this right now. And that's because it's from Caddyshack. So I'll review the movie on a separate time and not worry about it now, all right? But what about the lyrics of this song? Well, let's go into this. What are you doing that is so easy? Why do you care why do they care what you are doing? What are you cannonballing? What is a Cinderella kid? Please define that. And what job do they want you to obtain? Who do you want to be today? And someone has to make up your mind for you? Really? And who is this magistrate that you're supposed to listen to? I'd like to know his name. I'd like to know a little bit about him. And what mood are you in at this very moment? Now, I have to say, this song was well sung. I admit the lyrics don't make a whole lot of sense, but I think, on the other hand, they weren't supposed to really make a whole lot of sense anyway. Now, this song was written for the movie Caddyshack, which is a comedy and doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyway, so there you go. There is a reason the lyrics were written this way. Feel free to do research on this song to find the reason why these lyrics are written this way. I have actually left a hyperlink down here to an article that will tell you all about that. All right. So as for the music, there are multiple guitars in this song, and the drummer keeps the guitars in good balance. And yes, it's interesting to find out that Eddie Money sang a lyric in this song. Well, I have to give this song an A-. It's a really good song. It really is. All right. If you haven't been Kenny Loggins and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Kenny Loggins. Whoa. If you're Kenny Loggins and you're watching this video, feel free to answer the questions I just presented to you in the comment section of this video. If you're not Kenny Loggins and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Kenny Loggins' YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I'm going to tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause here, and I'll be right back. Okay. Let's get this live stream over with once and for all. Good evening, everybody. Is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this video response is going to go out to Jim Ellis, and that's because he actually sang the end credits to a TV show called WKRP. And it took me a long time to research this thing to finally find out what the lyrics were saying in this song. And I will discuss that in just a minute. But before I do, okay, let's go. As I mentioned just a second ago, the person who composed the lyrics of the end credits was Jim Ellis. He never intended for these lyrics to make sense, and he never thought anyone would figure out what he was saying. But he finally revealed what he sung in the song, and I will ask questions of that. All right, let's talk about the Mad Tooth Bar. Is that some place where a tooth fairy exchanges lost teeth for drinks? Did this tooth bar have a whack-a-mole? Have you ever seen those arcade games where you have the whack-a-mole? Well, did this Mad Tooth Bar have whack-a-mole? What wouldn't you do? And why would a poodle wear a lid? Now, I have to admit, Jim Ellis did an excellent job of formulating a fake song. Hardly anyone was able to guess what lyrics he was singing. The lyrics are very amusing, and he definitely deserves an A for creating this fake song. All right. If you happen to be Jim Ellis right now and you're watching this video right now, feel free to answer any and all questions that I posed in this video in the comments section of this video. Okay? Now, if you happen not to be Jim Ellis and you're watching this video right now, if you can somehow get a hold of him, I don't know if he did any other songs or not, but if he did, look it up on YouTube. If you happen to find a YouTube channel based on him, feel free to watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. Is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and here is my thoughts on this. This video response is going to go out to a lady named Melanie. I'm not really sure she's still around anymore. If she's not, then this video response will go to her friends or family or whatever of Melanie. Okay, and she uploaded a song called Brand New Key. They finally made a music video about it, but it didn't reflect what she did, okay? Basically, all they did was show her play the song. Okay. Anyway, I have watched the music video. I've heard the song so many times in the last 50-plus years, and I had a few questions about the song itself. But before I go into those questions, all right. Now, as I stated earlier, this song was composed and sung a decade before MTV became a cable channel. It wasn't even a gleam in anybody's eyes at that time. So basically, she did not herself record a music video to go along with this song. So let's just go straight to the lyrics. Why were you riding a bicycle at night? Why are you constantly visiting this guy? What does this guy have that you need? I can't blame this guy for avoiding you. I really can't. What happened to your old roller skates? Why did this guy get a brand new key? Were you trying to break into his house? How can he try out your roller skates? I bet his feet are too large to fit into your roller skates, I can tell you that. And why would you need to try out his brand new key? Why would you think this guy has something for you? How far can you travel wearing roller skates? And how far can you travel by riding your bicycle? How did you travel all over the world riding a bicycle? What did you do? Ride a bunch of boats when you had the bicycle on the boat? That'd be something interesting. The guy's mother told you that he wasn't alone. You kind of have to wonder, who was this guy with? This is a very simple song played on a simple acoustic guitar. The guitar playing is great. I will give you that. Okay. And I will also have to grant you that Melanie is a very enthusiastic singer. But her voice is very annoying. I'm sorry. It just, ugh. Okay. The lyrics she's singing are very interesting. And that's why I had to kind of change the grade on this video, because I was originally going to give this video a solid F, but man, I had to change that. This song definitely caught my attention. Here's what I derived out of the song. And if I'm wrong, then fine, I'm wrong. But I get the idea that this gal is stalking this guy. Yeah, this is kind of the thing before the Police put out their song. I can't remember the title of it. Every Breath You Take. That's what it was. Yeah, long before that. So that makes the song very interesting. So, like I said, I was going to give this song an F-, but after reading the lyrics, I just have to give the song a C. Like, okay. Anyway, if you happen to be Melanie, or if you happen to be somebody that knew Melanie at some point or whatever, you can answer some of these questions. Feel free to leave the answers to these questions down here in the comment section below. And if you're not Melanie and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Melanie's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you like, and more importantly, tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Anybody? Nope. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this video response is going to go out to Belinda Carlisle, and that's because you actually uploaded a music video entitled Circle in the Sand. I watched your music video, I listened to the lyrics, and I had a few questions about both. All right. And I will ask all those in just a second. But before I do, okay, let's start with the video. What body of water are you standing next to? What is hanging on the lines with the clothespins? What aquatic life did you see after you recorded this video? What species of wood are the chairs made out of? Why are you holding a rope? Why are you alone on a beach? Was it warm or cold on the beach when you recorded this video? All right. Let's go through the lyrics, shall we? Why did you walk away the first time? Where does he end? From what direction is the wind blowing? I know the water is salty, but I wasn't aware that the air was salty too. Why does your heart ache when day breaks? What does forever look like? Why are you calling him? Here's some positive things about this song. The synthesizer and the drums are blended very well together, and there are some background vocals that are also well blended together. Belinda Carlisle has an incredibly wonderful sounding voice. She really does. And the melody of this song is somewhat haunting in a good way. I have to give this song a solid A. There's no question about it. If you happen to be Belinda Carlisle and you're watching this video right now, feel free to answer any and all the questions down here in the comment section below. And if you're not Belinda Carlisle and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Belinda Carlisle's YouTube channel, watch her videos, rate her videos, comment on her videos, subscribe to her channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell her that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this video response is going to go out to Lobo, and that's because you uploaded a song many, many years ago called Me and You and a Dog Named Boo. Now, keep in mind this song was created a decade before MTV, so there really is no official music video aside from what fans have put together, which is kind of cool. So I'm not going to go through any particular music video, but I did have some questions about the lyrics of the song. And if Lobo is no longer around, which is a very good possibility, then maybe some of his friends or his family can answer these questions. But before I ask these questions, okay. All righty. So, what questions do I have about the lyrics? How much rain did you receive at the beginning of the song? What interesting things did you see in Georgia? How old was this car? What was wrong with the car? Did you ever fix the car? How did you live off the land? What was Boo's favorite food and toys? Why did you travel to St. Paul, Minnesota? Because you mentioned the wheat fields and the eggs you robbed from an old hen, because you mentioned the wheat fields and the eggs you robbed from an old hen, I presume you saw at least one farm during your journey. What other farm animals did you see? Who or what alerted the farmer that you were stealing the hen eggs? Why did you travel to Los Angeles? Why did the lights convince you to settle in Los Angeles? Now, there are several things to notice in this particular song. The first thing to notice is the perfect blending of the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar. Then you add in the violins, which are perfectly blended. And let's not forget those black background vocals. They are absolutely wonderful. The story of the song may persuade people to travel all across the United States. Of course, I wouldn't recommend stealing eggs from a farmer's hen, but there you go. I have to admit this song is a very pleasant song to listen to. It's just really too bad that Lobo didn't hire a young lady to sing this song with him. Nevertheless, I have to give this song a solid A. If you happen to be Lobo, or you happen to be somebody that knows who Lobo was, and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go, well, before you do that, anybody that knows Lobo or he himself, don't know who it would be, if you want to leave answers to any of the questions I posed in this video, feel free to leave those down here in the comment section below. And if you're not Lobo, and you're not related to him in any way, feel free to go over to Lobo's YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted, the Speed Learner, and this video response is going to go out to the Pretenders, and I would assume that they're probably not going to see this until Christmas time. I'm presuming hardly anybody will watch this before Christmas time. But anyway, normally I would give high praise to the Pretenders. They are a very good band. It's just this song was not one of their best. I'm sorry it wasn't. But let me get you the details on that. I did actually watch the music video, and also I actually went through all the lyrics, and I have questions about both. And before I ask those questions, okay. Now, the song we're referring to is 2,000 Miles. Let's go through the music video. Now, I'm kind of getting the feeling here that this particular song and music video alike, this was supposed to be some kind of a joke. And if that's being the case, it's a brilliant joke. But you can't take this song seriously. You really can't. This video begins with three people skiing, and I immediately noticed the worst-looking Santa Claus I've ever seen in my life. And I can tell you right away that they weren't skiing down any real terrain. Look at the background. It's not real. And check out that fake snow. Can I say fake? Oh, boy, can I ever say fake. Even the animals in this video are fake, okay? Now, this would have been more interesting if this had been done on an actual studio stage like they did back in the 1970s, like the Ed Sullivan Show or Sonny and Cher or the Carpenters. They had their own show. There was several shows back in that time, and they would do a stage production type thing. And if that's what they were trying to achieve, they achieved it very well. But there's nothing realistic about this video, I can tell you that. And here's the thing: is the lead singer, the female lead singer of this video, is she actually wearing a Salvation Army uniform? Where's her red bucket? And then there's the matter of the guy ice fishing. If I saw Santa Claus under the ice that I plan to place my fishing line into, I would run for the hills. Okay? And if she's trying to make us laugh by presenting such a fake video, well, she's definitely succeeded. I was laughing all the way through. So let's move on to the lyrics, shall we? If she is referring to Santa Claus, then she needs to add additional miles to the lyrics. Okay? I guarantee you that Santa Claus travels more than 2,000 miles. He travels 2,000 miles in the United States. He didn't travel 2,000 miles around the world, I can tell you that. Oh, let's follow up the first lyric with a very obvious statement. Of course, Santa Claus has traveled a very long way. Duh. I guess I could ask how much snow she received before she sang this song, but then again, this is all fake snow, but who knows? But why would I care about fake snow and how much fell? And the second duh statement refers to the air temperature she is supposedly experiencing in this music video. Why do you miss Santa Claus? Were you having like a little soiree with him at some point? Who knows? How many children are singing in the world while you're singing this song? I get the fact that the nights are frozen, but why are they silent? Isn't anyone hosting a party? You're actually dreaming about Santa Claus? Why is the sky purple? Are you finding real diamonds in the snow? From your point of view, what does Christmas feel like? Why do you think Santa Claus... Oh, where do you think Santa Claus is going? At a certain point in this video, I was like, I can't stand any more of this. I just got to turn it off. I just couldn't take it anymore. I will point out a couple good things about this. Chrissie Hynde, I guess she's the lead singer. She's a fantastic singer, and her band is really good most of the time. Okay. She actually created a masterpiece entitled Don't Get Me Wrong, one of the best songs I ever heard. And I have to admit, despite the problems with this 2,000 Miles song, she did sing it very well. I have to give her that. And I have to give props to that prop department. Boy, wow, did they do a good job. That was hilarious. Okay, that's one of the most entertaining music videos I've ever seen. Now, like I said, if Chrissie Hynde's intention was to give us a humorous music video and a song, great. I loved it. That would get an A. Really, I would give that an A because they really did a fantastic job, okay? The props were intentionally cheesy and the lyrics were pointless and humorous. And so in that respect, I do have to give it an A. But if this is to be taken anywhere close to seriousness, no, it can't, okay? And that's the problem with this song. So many people these days are actually playing this song like it's a serious song. Like, no, there's nothing serious about this song. It's awful. Okay? This song has become a beloved Christmas song, and I don't know why. I really don't. I can't justify that kind of a classification. The lyrics are just basically senseless and boring. There is nothing in the song that makes you run to the record store and obtain a copy of the song. Really not. It's for this reason, and only for this reason, that I will now give this song, or more specifically the way it was promoted since it was premiered in the record stores in 1983, okay? I think this is more of a promotion problem than it actually is a song problem. But the promotion on this is a solid F-. You cannot take this song seriously. It is not a song you would take seriously. Okay? All righty. Well, if you happen to be a member of the band The Pretenders and you're watching this video right now, feel free to leave answers to any of these questions down here in the comment section below. And if you are not one of the Pretenders and you're watching this right now, feel free to go over to the Pretenders YouTube channel, watch their videos, rate their videos. comment on their videos, subscribe to their channel if you like, and more importantly, tell them that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. I know that you're going to find this hard to believe, but that's the end. I want to thank you all very much for tuning into this particular presentation and watching all this stuff. I will make the actual video clips soon, so you'll be able to see more of these presentations. And I have to say, this went really well. Sometime in September, I'll have more video notes and we'll start making better presentations. And I will be working more with the graphics. So this winter will be spent mostly working with the graphics and not so much making any more videos. Okay, now there will be probably another live stream before the end of September, so hang in there for that. But aside from that, we're just going to have to keep right on going. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Let's see.